Yeah, welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. Tonight on the show, Adam Pearce versus Roman Reigns for the title at the Royal Rumble. Goldberg is back and will also be at the Royal Rumble. And the Bullet Club takes over AEW Dynamite. And Johnny North, of course, Johnny North, very excited about Cardi B. And is Cardi B coming to the WWE? Wrestling Uncensored starts right now. Hey ho, Johnny! What's up, big dog? Hoo-wah.
Well, I don't know about you, but quite a week in wrestling. Quite a full week of wrestling that we saw a lot of entertaining action and surprising moments, without question. I think throughout pretty much all the shows this week that we saw.
Yeah, it was an interesting week, and we are in Rumble season. We are in the warm-up to WrestleMania, right? And you could tell this week. It felt that way, especially in the WWE. They're going all out. They're making matches for the Rumble. Goldberg showed up at the end of Raw. Big surprise ending for Raw. A surprise ending for SmackDown as well. Cardi B, like I mentioned, you're very excited about Cardi B, and they mentioned her on Raw, and she started tweeting about wrestling, trying to figure out whether or not Cardi B is going to come to the WWE. It's been crazy. And, of course, AEW. I'm rocking the hoodie. The boys, the Biz Cliz, the Bullet Club, they're back. Back together.
Well, they don't call them the Bullet Club.
Why not? What do they call them?
I don't know if you saw it. They said
the Elite?
They said, yeah, they just call them the Elite. They said they'll be in action next week. They didn't say the Bullet Club.
Okay. Well, whatever they're called, you know what they are. Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows all reuniting on AEW Dynamite this week, which we will talk about. But before we get to that, do you want to talk about Cardi B? Because you were very excited about this. I was telling you about the show. You know, we were talking about what we were going to do here on the show, and you were like, whoa, we got to talk about Cardi B. That's the biggest story of the week. That's the biggest news. And I didn't really see it that way. Explain to me why we should talk about Cardi B.
Well, it just kind of came out of nowhere, where it's just like, I think Tori Wilson mentioned her right on Raw. Just name dropped her, pretty much.
She told Angel Garza that Cardi B and Kylie Jenner and somebody else, they were waiting for him. You know, some sexy ladies were waiting for Angel Garza, and he went into a room and was met with the boogeyman. So then apparently people were tweeting to Cardi B about wrestling, and Cardi B was like, what's going on? Why am I getting all these WWE tweets? And then she figured out what it was, and she was like, oh, yeah, I used to watch wrestling, and I think Sasha Banks is cool. And then Lacey Evans called her a nasty, and then Cardi B got angry on Twitter. Cardi B biting into the Lacey Evans heel persona, just like so many people have done. Lacey Evans, you got to give her credit. Tremendous heel, shooting her shot, and it worked. She got Cardi B to bite. I'm trying to search through Cardi B's tweets to find exactly what she tweeted to Lacey, but there's just so much on Cardi B. There's so much on Cardi B's timeline.
Deleted it.
Oh, she deleted her tweet? So,
you have
there
to
it
look
is.
for some sort of screenshot somewhere.
Whatever, I don't care enough to do that. Cardi B, had a little fun with some WWE people. She got into it with Lacey Evans. She said she likes Sasha Banks. She likes Melina, I think. And The Rock, Or she name-dropped Booker T, Eddie Guerrero, Triple H, Batista, Cena, Edge, Melina, Trish, and Lena. I think she meant Lita. So there's talk of Cardi B possibly showing up in the WWE because she's a personality, she's a celebrity, and the WWE likes to do this. But I don't know. Maybe. I could see it happening. I could see her appearing on WWE. I just don't know if she would get it. You know? I'm not sure she would really understand it's a work. I don't know if she would really get her role. I don't think she'd be great, like, in a match. I don't think that would necessarily work. But I like Cardi B. I think she's cool, so why not? I don't know. If she's willing to do it, why not use her?
Well, to me, what just caught me off guard by this was just like, I think she really thinks this is like a shoot kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think Lacey Evans was just being a character, and then Cardi B took it like it was personal, and took it really hard for some reason. And because of that, like, I don't know if you saw it, like WWE like hyped it like crazy. Oh, Cardi B's mentioning WWE. That they put like this huge like segment on YouTube, but didn't mention the Lacey Evans thing whatsoever. Because Cardi B went kind of way too far with it.
She said something about Lacey Evans being white, like I'm not afraid of some white woman or something. Didn't she say that? Wasn't that the kind of?
She said that. I think she used the MF word too, if not mistaken.
Oh,
something
that's
like
okay.
that, or your BS, whatever.
Whatever.
But again, this isn't very. Yeah. It's not very PG, so I don't know if WWE like, again, if they're going to use her, they're going to have to a bit.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I don't think she's necessarily WWE friendly, and I think Cardi B got a little bit mad at Lacey Evans because Lacey said something in her tweet like, "I'm not Nicki Minaj. I'm a real problem for you," you know. And Cardi B and Nicki Minaj got into like a real fight. I don't know if you're aware of this, but they had like a real fight. And those two don't like each other for real. So I wonder if that is what Cardi B all upset. But I don't know how closely you follow Cardi B, but she's, you know, she's all over the place. She was married to Offset, and then she was going to get a divorce with Offset, and now she's back together with Offset. Of course, she had the hit song WAP, which I'm sure you were bumping constantly in your home there, Johnny. You love that song. Have you seen the video, John?
I know she
Are you
had
aware
a song
of it?
called like Yellow. There's like a song called Yellow or something. I know that song. That's about it from her.
Yeah, I think that's an older one. What's that called? Bodak, isn't it? Is that her? Yeah, Bodak Yellow. That's Cardi B. You haven't seen the WAP video?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
I'm not a huge fan. Like,
so you've heard of it? You heard about it? And then you didn't decide to go and watch it? I heard about it. I was like, I got to see this. This is something I got to see. And I watched it. And I liked it. No? It's a good video.
Not at all. Not
I'm surprised you haven't seen the WAP video. You're very, like, down with Cardi B. You're trying to tell me we need to talk about Cardi B here on the show. You're wearing a FUBU t-shirt. I expect you to be very into hip-hop culture. You're telling me about Cardi B. You're wearing FUBU. And now you're telling me you haven't seen the WAP video. You know, what's going on? Surprised, Johnny.
Wow, she's not my cup of tea. Too bad.
Yeah, I know.
But her against Lacey Evans, I'm sold. I want to see that match.
Okay.
We can talk about Lacey Evans more too, because like she had a great week of television. I don't know if you saw like the stuff with Ric Flair. That was great.
When she was kissing Nate on Raw?
Well, just the whole like, hey Nate, you know, hey Rick, like throughout the whole match, and Charlotte getting mad, and then Charlotte like slapping her, and then like the spear. I thought that was good stuff.
And then Nate tripped Charlotte, causing her to lose the match. Was it?
Apparently that was a mess up though. Yeah, because apparently it was supposed to be Peyton, but they messed up, and like it was Charlotte instead. And Rick's kind of slow, so he didn't really catch on that they messed up. So they just kind of did that instead.
So Rick was supposed to trip Peyton Royce, but he missed? He actually missed?
Yeah, apparently.
How is that possible?
I don't know. Things happen. You know, things screw up in the ring, you know, so.
That's a pretty big screw up. And they decide to save it with Charlotte getting into Rick's face. That whole segment was super weird. Like, that was strange.
Well, the match wasn't exactly the greatest match, but the Lacey Evans stuff I thought was great.
I mean, it was okay. It was Lacey and Peyton beating Charlotte and Asuka. Charlotte taking the fall after Flair tripped her. You're saying that was a botch, so Charlotte wasn't supposed to lose that match?
No, I think they were supposed to lose, but not in that kind of fashion. Apparently, like it was supposed to be like an accidental kind of thing that Flair got involved, but apparently, like if you saw it, that was clearly like intentional the way he did it. So there was a mess up there.
Well, he played it off like it was accidental.
Oh, like that. There's no way. Like if you see it, like there's no way that looks accidental whatsoever.
Well,
There was a mess up.
No. I mean, in the execution of it, it looked like Flair was doing it clearly on purpose. It didn't look like he was trying to trip Peyton and then just trip Charlotte. It looked like he just tripped Charlotte. But afterwards, he was like, oh, I screwed up. I didn't mean to do that. But I guess you could interpret it as, oh, why did I do that? You know, when he did it initially, I was like, oh, is he just going to be with Lacey now? Like, that's what I thought, because Lacey was, like, so into him. And, you know, Flair with the ladies, you figure, you know.
Seventh wife.
Yeah, he's like, well, look, Charlotte, what can I say? You're my daughter, but have you seen Lacey? Like, she's 29 years old. She looks like that. I'm Ric Flair. Come on. Woo! You know? Dirtiest player in the game. You can't blame him. I think a lot of people will be like, yeah, well, what are you going to do, Nate? You know, Lacey be playing Ric Flair against Charlotte. That's a good angle. But you're telling me that's not what happened.
But I could see it now. They're probably going to go in that direction now. Because, like,
they should.
If you saw it, they kind of wrote Flair off in a sense. But I don't think they should, actually. They should keep this going, actually.
Ric Flair is a sympathetic, legendary figure in professional wrestling. Charlotte Flair is supposed to be one of the top baby faces on Raw. Her just yelling at her dad and telling him to stay out of her business forever, it doesn't help her be a babyface. You know, it doesn't endear her to the audience. When you're the daughter of Ric Flair and most people know that you kind of got to where you are because you're Ric Flair's daughter, obviously she's very talented, but would she have been given the opportunity, as many opportunities, especially had she not been Ric Flair's daughter? You know, probably not. So when you're there, kind of just shitting on Ric Flair, like, I don't want to take anything away from Charlotte. Charlotte's a legend in her own right. She's a future Hall of Famer. I think Charlotte is tremendous. But, you know, the Flair name helps. Can't say it doesn't help you get the foot in the door. And seeing her just yell at Ric Flair, who's this legend who people love, who Randy Orton is, like, threatening earlier in the night. It's like when Randy is shitting on you, Charlotte shouldn't also be doing it. You know, like, when Randy doesn't like you, Charlotte should like you because you're a babyface. Just doesn't help Charlotte as a babyface by yelling at her father and just kind of demeaning him. You feel bad for Rick more than you are on Charlotte's side, and that's not helpful, right? That's not what we're trying to get accomplished. Why do we need to build sympathy for Ric Flair? What does that accomplish? Absolutely nothing, right? Terrible.
Well, if anything, maybe they're trying to establish, you know, Charlotte, you can't really trust her in the end, and they're going to have her and Asuka at WrestleMania, so maybe that's why you kind of want to drift Charlotte more as a heel, perhaps. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Planting heel seeds? Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. But what, Charlotte wins the Rumble again?
I'd rather Bayley, to be honest, but
I mean, how many women's Rumbles have we had? 2?
2 or 3. I
think
3.
Just 2. Well, who won?
No, 3.
Asuka.
Asuka won the first one. Then Becky.
Oh, Becky,
Charlotte.
You're right. Yeah, I forgot the Becky one. So we've had 3. If we have 4 and Charlotte wins half of them, like, that's a little, you know? I don't think Charlotte or Asuka can really win another women's Rumble at this point. Not yet, anyways.
Well, Asuka won't be in it.
Well, no, Asuka's the champion. But Charlotte winning the Rumble again, second year in a row, when there's only been 4 women's Rumbles, it seems strange to ever win 50% of the Rumbles. But then again, it is Charlotte Flair.
Didn't Hogan do it?
Didn't Jim Duggan win the first one?
No, but like Hogan was the first guy to win too, right? And he won it back to back.
Okay. Charlotte is kind of like the new Hogan. She's at that level of superstar. Is she your pick to win the Women's Rumble? I mean, she's not a bad pick. Asuka's the Raw Women's Champion. Charlotte and Asuka are the Women's Tag Team Champions. And Asuka as the Raw Women's Champion is kind of taking a back seat to where it's kind of like, let's ignore Asuka as the Raw Women's Champion, so then when it's time to bring that angle back, you kind of remember, and Charlotte is challenging her. You know, it's kind of like, forget that she's champion, so that when Charlotte challenges her for the belt, it's kind of a surprise, even though it does make a ton of sense. And other than that, I don't know who else wins the Women's Rumble other than Bayley. I think Bayley is a good pick to go up against Sasha at WrestleMania. Bayley, Sasha for the belt at Mania makes sense to me. You know, like, that's a match that's so good, and the story has gone on. Like, it really has been their year from Mania to Mania.
Yep.
I think Bayley, Sasha is where you got to go. Also, Bayley, you know, you look at the Rumble winners, Asuka, Becky, Charlotte. Bayley should win a Royal Rumble. She's that type of superstar. Future Hall of Famer. All four of them, the four horsewomen there, Becky, Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha, they're all future Hall of Famers, and they should all win a Royal Rumble. Sasha, because she's champion, won't win this year, but she will win one at some point in her career. She should. And I think above Charlotte, I would put Bayley as the Rumble winner. She's my pick. Ding dong. Hello.
I agree with you, but to say that I'm going with Bayley for sure, like, if Charlotte's in there, there's always going to be doubt. So it's too early to tell right now. But they're the top picks from Raw and SmackDown for me.
Yeah, I would go with Bayley versus Sasha at WrestleMania. It's a match that deserves the WrestleMania platform, you know? One-on-one for the belt. All right, speaking of the belt, Adam Pearce won a gauntlet match tonight. That's right, Adam Pearce, the bald guy who's kind of the general manager of all the shows. He won a gauntlet match tonight. What did you all think of that? I'm seeing Lauren Cronish on the chat, Bob Cote, Alex Tarras, Mako8033, Rob Cluse, Sebastian Rouillard. What do you guys think of Adam Pearce versus Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble? Does this match actually happen, or does Adam Pearce put up his title shot in some sort of match and we don't actually have to sit through this? Is this actually going to happen?
Well, think about it. I mean, a lot of Roman's matches now is just going to be a lot of talking.
Yeah.
So just have a talking segment. That's it. I mean, you don't really need it wrestling. You don't even really need a good challenger. You just need Roman to go out there and talk. And to be fair, like, his promo to start SmackDown was pretty good. So if they can put together a pretty good segment for the Rumble, won't mind, because you're really watching for the Rumble. The other matches, you know, you kind of forget about them, actually. The Rumble match is what you think about. The title matches are kind of forgettable, sadly.
Well, I know you're hyped about Goldberg, but that's another story that we'll get to. You like Roman's opening promo? What?
Well, yeah, I like Roman's opening promo, but the thing about Goldberg, like, yeah, I'm excited for it, but, you know, let's be honest here. It's not going to be, like, longer than 5 minutes. Like, if it is, I'll be very shocked. It's going to be finisher, 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 maybe a fake here or there, you know, finish. That's the match, pretty much.
I'm wondering who you think is going to win. We're going to get to that in a minute. I didn't love the Roman promo blaming Adam Pearce for booking the match with Kevin Owens last week, and that's why they did what they did to Kevin Owens, because Adam Pearce put him in a match with Jey Uso. They had no choice. So now Roman is just blaming Adam Pearce, and he's trying to kind of bully Adam Pearce into being the leader of SmackDown. He's like, Adam Pearce, I know your management, but I have more power than you. Adam Pearce, you know, do you think I'm stupid? Do you think Vince McMahon is stupid, Adam Pearce? So Roman, obviously, he's tied in with Vince, and he's putting Adam Pearce now in matches. So Roman going above Adam Pearce, really showing you where the power lies on SmackDown. It lies with the Universal Champion, the big dog, the head of the table. Bah. Like, the story is good, and the promos are okay, but it's just when it comes down to the bell ringing, not there. You know? And I'm watching professional wrestling at the highest level this week. And I compare Roman Reigns to these guys, and I'm like, this guy cannot hang. He just can't hang. He's not at the level of Rey Fenix. He's not at the level of Kenny Omega. He's not at the level of Daniel Bryan or AJ Styles or Shinsuke Nakamura or Kazuchika Okada or Kota Ibushi. You know? You look at the world champions in professional wrestling, the WWE world champions don't hold a candle to these guys. You look at the top talent in professional wrestling. I watched New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom. I'm watching AEW Dynamite. I'm watching Raw. I'm watching SmackDown. I'm watching the best of the best in professional wrestling at the top level. And then I see Roman Reigns, and I'm like, he's not really cutting the mustard. His promos are cool. The story's cool, and I get it. But bell to bell, he's not championship level. That's a problem. It's disappointing, you know? I wish he was. Sometimes he is. With the right guy, he is. With Kevin Owens, he is. But not with Jey Uso. And certainly not with Adam Pearce. It's not going to be anything good. A lot of talking, like you said. It's a promo. It's not a match. Not really into it. It's not what I'm looking for in pro wrestling. But, you know, like I said, there's so much other good pro wrestling. Like Shinsuke Nakamura and Daniel Bryan had a tremendous match. It was a gauntlet match that took up most of SmackDown to determine a number one contender for Roman Reigns. Roman had Pearce in this match. Of course he shows up at the end, obviously. It starts with Sami, Zayn, and Rey Mysterio. Sami gets nothing. Like Sammy's promo was longer than his match. Comes in, 619, bada bing, bada boom, it's over. Rey beats him, squashes him. Nakamura comes in, and usually a babyface would take this role, but Nakamura became the Iron Man of this gauntlet match, which was strange. He beats Rey Mysterio clean in a solid match with an armbar. King Corbin shows up, attacks Nakamura from behind, attacks Dominic, attacks Rey. Corbin hit a chokeslam on Rey, by the way. I think that should be his permanent finishing move. Nobody in WWE is using a chokeslam anymore. That move is wide open. Corbin should take
Elias did one.
Yeah, Elias did one. You see, they're teasing. Like, they're trying to... They know it's a good move. They got to give it to somebody. But I think Corbin makes more sense than Elias. That's a tall man's move. And they don't have any... Like, Taker's gone. Kane's gone. Big Show's gone. No more chokeslammers in WWE. Give that shit to Corbin. I'm telling you. His chokeslam was nice. It's also, you know, good that he hit it on Rey, so it looked more impressive. But when I saw King Corbin hit that chokeslam, I'm like, that's your new finisher, brother. Hit that every time. It looked good, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked good. I feel like Baron Corbin's not really a giant. Like, I mean, he's tall, but like he's not
tall.
like Braun Strowman, you know? Yeah, but he's not like Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman should get that move, I think.
Okay. I'm not against that. Somebody should use it. It's a great finisher. I love a chokeslam. So Nakamura beats Rey, and then Nakamura beats King Corbin with a big kick. That match was actually really good. Hard hitting.
That was fine. I had no problem with it.
Nakamura's great. You didn't like the ending?
Well, the whole like Adam Pearce thing, like that was just stupid.
Yeah. No. But I'm saying Corbin and Nakamura. I thought the finish to that match was good. And then the Daniel Bryan Nakamura finish, also very good. Bryan looking like he was in control. Nakamura hits that Kinshasa out of nowhere. I was surprised. I thought, okay, well, Bryan's going to beat up Adam Pearce at the end of this thing, and he's going to go and face Roman Reigns. Did you not think that?
I thought that Bryan would at least get to Adam Pearce, and then he gets screwed over. I thought that's what we were going towards, but no.
Yeah.
Not even.
No, I was surprised that he lost to Nakamura, but I wasn't mad about it, and then I really enjoyed the handshake afterwards. It seemed to try and turn Nakamura babyface, but I honestly don't think they care enough about what Nakamura is on their roster. Like, they're not going to keep going with this. Like, they'll forget that he's a babyface in 2 weeks, and he'll be a heel tag team with Cesaro again. They could be a babyface tag team when you next see them, but I don't have faith in a Nakamura babyface singles run right now. Do you? Was this a turn or was just a one-night deal? It felt like a one-night deal to me.
Well, to me, I just looked at it as like an opportunity. They gave Nakamura a main event spot, which they rarely do, and they actually gave him some shine. Again, something they rarely do. Like, he's usually in a tag match. He's usually taking the loss in the tag match. So it's really hard to believe in Nakamura, and now they actually gave you something to believe in. So maybe they're doing a change. However, you're very right. Consistency is a huge problem in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So can they keep this up? Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Probably not. Probably not. But I like to see it just for one night, seeing Shinsuke shine, because he's a tremendous wrestler. Jey Uso and Roman Reigns showed up at the end, and they beat up on Shinsuke. Jey hit a super kick on Adam Pearce. And then they just place Pearce on top of Shinsuke, tell the referee to count to 3, and he does. And now Adam Pearce is going on to the Royal Rumble to face Roman Reigns. I see Sebastian on the chat says Kevin Owens is going to get the shot instead. They're going to give it to Kevin Owens. Bob Cote says, no way Adam Pearce is at the Rumble. Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if they'll actually do this, or if they won't find a way to put Kevin Owens in there again. Because Kevin was selling the beatdown from last week, but he's not going to sell that until the Rumble. I think it is going to be Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns at the Rumble again. I really do. I think they're going to find a way around this Adam Pearce thing, and it's not really going to be Roman versus Adam Pearce at the Royal Rumble. That just seems dumb. That's not something you put on a poster that's going to get people to watch, you know? Who's Adam Pearce? I think Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, and a last man standing is the play here. I don't think you do Kevin Owens just kind of disappearing, right? It's not over. I think it's going to be Owens and Reigns at the Rumble. It's got to be.
I hope you're right. But I wouldn't be surprised if we have to sit through this, because I feel like they don't actually care too much, like, going for like the big pay-per-view matches. They have the Goldberg match, they have the Rumble match, they have their big matches. They don't need another big match. They could just go through this, and then we'll get to the next show, and then worry about that.
It's the Rumble, though. I don't know. I don't think they're going to do it. But we'll have to wait and see what goes down there with Roman. They are going to do Goldberg versus Drew McIntyre. That's totally happening, right? That's 100% going down. Goldberg shows up at the end of Raw this week. An episode of Raw which I thought was okay. Of course, we saw a bunch of legends. It was Legends Night on Raw, and they barely used the legends. You know, they were there in little cameos, and people are mad. They're like, Hogan was used a bit. I saw some people mad, like, why are you going to bring these people if you're not going to use them? It's an insult. And it's like, well, it's a good payday for some of these guys, you know? It's good money. Show up, you don't have to do very much work. Like, it's not bad. For, like, Tatanka or the Boogeyman, they show up, they get paid, they don't have to do much. Why not?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, and I liked Randy getting involved with the Legends too. I thought that was great. Like, I'm glad they capitalized on that. Legend Killer, Legends Night.
Mm-hmm.
Made a lot of sense.
It did. The promo at the end, though, did not make sense. So Drew McIntyre beats Keith Lee after a Claymore kick to retain the WWE title. I think this was Drew McIntyre's best match as champion, maybe best match of his career. This match was great.
The AJ Styles TLC match.
I don't know. This is close to it. This was very good, though. This is his best Raw match. This is way better than I was expecting it to be.
I won't disagree with that. It was definitely really good, like, without question. I thought this was probably one of the best Raws I've seen in a long time, actually. I mean, when you think about it, there were several good matches on the show, which is very rare. If you get, like, 2 good matches, it's kind of great for Raw. So
yeah,
the fact that there was more than just 2, I was pretty happy with Raw.
I thought Raw was pretty good as far as in-ring. AJ Elias, I thought, was solid. even though they did that again for some reason. Matt Riddle, Bobby Lashley, I liked. Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, I liked. What'd you say?
I just see that Rob Clues says I need to stop drinking the Randy Kool-Aid, apparently.
Yeah.
It's not Kool-Aid, man. Randy's one of the best things going right now in wrestling. That match with Jeff Hardy, fantastic, man. Randy is so good. Like,
yeah,
it's
Jeff Hardy's
scary
really
how good
good.
he is.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy's really good. Legend. I agree.
Jeff's good too, and Randy is unbelievable.
Yeah, Jeff
Another
Hardy's
level,
a
Randy right
future Hall of Famer, great wrestler, puts his body on the line for the business. Can't really say the same about Randy. Body on the line. Not like Jeff. Jeff is a true legend. I love Jeff Hardy. Big respect for him. Randy, he was able to have a good match with him. Because Jeff is a legend, and Randy and Jeff have really good chemistry. That match was solid. Randy beats Jeff after the RKO, pins him. Solid. I thought the match was good. Best match on Raw? Probably not, but it was one of the better matches on Raw. What was the best match on Raw? Like, it was a good Raw. I think it was
I would
Drew
say
and
the main
Keith.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also think Lashley and Riddle, very good too.
It was very good. And this match was, like, surprising that they just threw out on an episode of Raw. I thought they were going to do some sort of pay-per-view with this, but it was Riddle-Lashley. It was non-title, though, so we're going to see a title match because Riddle did win. Riddle beats Lashley with a roll-up, but of course they have to keep it 50-50, right? Because Lashley really won the match, but the ref didn't see. So Lashley had Riddle in the hurt lock, the full Nelson. Riddle tapped. Mm-hmm. The ref was not placed correctly. He didn't see. Lashley released the hold thinking he had won. Lashley starts yelling at the ref for not finishing the match. Riddle rolls up Lashley and gets the win. Not a great win for Riddle, but the match was very good, and it wasn't, one-sided beatdown from Lashley. The match was solid, and it's something I wouldn't mind seeing again. I think we just scratched the surface with those two guys. And I think Riddle will probably become the U.S. champion. Give that to him as a nice little signing bonus. He just signed a new deal with the WWE about 3 years, I think.
I don't know if he's going to win this title. I feel maybe him and Jeff as tag champions. I could see that going down, but you never know. He could win the U.S. title. I just feel that finish, though, to me, it was clever because, like, the way I saw that was that Riddle did that on purpose. It looked like he hit the ref or was trying to hit the ref. Ref got distracted. He tapped out because he knew Lashley would let go of the hold. He didn't want to tap, but, he just tapped so Lashley would release it. And then he surprised him. Like, to me, he just outsmarted him.
You might be right. I didn't see it that way. I saw it as Riddle taking a loss and then kind of stealing a victory away from Bobby. That's really what he did, John. It's still not an honorable victory. Even if he did do it intentionally, it's not an honorable babyface way to win, right?
Yeah, but with Matt Riddle's kind of character, like, I could see that.
Uh-huh.
Like, he's not an honorable kind of guy. He just kind of goes with the flow kind of thing, and that's what he did.
So Hulk Hogan was on Raw. He was backstage with the Hulk phone, whatever that is. And then later on, we saw Hulk with Drew and Sheamus. Hulk was with his former manager, Jimmy Hart. And Hulk was putting Drew McIntyre over big time, saying he reminds him of himself, and he's a great champion. And Drew's like, well, Hulk, if I'm like you, would Sheamus be like Jimmy Hart? And Hulk and Jimmy and Drew all have a good laugh. Sheamus didn't seem too happy about it. Sheamus seemed kind of angry at the comparison. He's like, what am I, like your little sidekick here? I'm like Jimmy Hart to your Hulk Hogan? It's kind of disrespectful of Drew. So Sheamus didn't like it. I could see Sheamus maybe winning the Rumble and getting some revenge on Drew. But of course, the Rumble itself will be Goldberg versus Drew, because Goldberg showed up after Drew beats Keith Lee, hits the Claymore, defends the WWE title. Goldberg shows up and says, Drew McIntyre, you lack respect for the legends. I see you there. You're not respecting us. You think we're just old men. Well, I challenge you to a match at Royal Rumble, and you will respect me. And then Drew says, well, fighting you would be like fighting my dad. And then Goldberg pushed him down, and Drew fell on his ass. And then he got up, and they started yelling at each other, and that's how Raw ended. Why is Goldberg saying Drew doesn't respect the legends? That didn't make any sense. Apparently, the promo was supposed to be longer, but they had to cut it, and that's why it was nonsensical. I don't give a shit why. The fact that it was nonsensical, the fact that it was really weird, is what we saw on TV. So that's the angle. It doesn't make sense. You can't screw something up on TV and then go on the internet and be like, well, we were going to do a longer thing, but we lost track of time, so what you saw wasn't really the whole thing. Too bad. That's what we saw. That's what you produced. Just because you have an idea, it's as if I come on the show and I'd be like, well, you might not like this show, but I'm telling you, I have this other show in my mind. We won't have time to do it, but it's really good. You'll like it. No, that's not how shows work. The show is what you see. The show is what you hear. And what I saw and heard was fucking nonsense from Goldberg. You don't respect legends, and I'm an old man, and I'm gonna get you, sonny boy. Push! Oh! Goldberg, you're so strong! I fell on my ass! Fucking pathetic, man. And now we're gonna have to watch Drew McIntyre and Oldberg. Yeah, I dropped the G on purpose. Oldberg. Mako8033 goes, dementia as an angle? That might be it. Maybe that's what Goldberg's storyline is. He's got dementia. He thought Drew was being disrespectful to Hulk Hogan when Hulk was heaping praise on him, and Drew and Hulk were like buddy-buddy. Goldberg saw that as disrespect. Jesus.
Well, I guess we both have it, because I saw it as disrespect too. Because the way I saw the promo, Drew was very disrespectful. Because Hogan was giving him praise. Yeah. Hogan was giving him praise, and Drew's like, yeah, I really appreciate all that. He was like completely insincere about it. Like, you could completely tell. And I think he did that on purpose too, because he was to sell it, I think. I guess you didn't catch that. That's what I caught.
I don't know.
Drew was like trying to be a jerk.
Is that the angle? Drew is a disrespectful young punk that needs to be put in his place by Goldberg? If that's the angle, you're killing Drew's babyface push. Because Goldberg would be the babyface in that scenario. If Drew really thinks Hogan's this old piece of shit and fuck these old guys, I'm the man now, fuck everybody else. And Goldberg's like, well, you got to show respect to those that paved the way. Well, Goldberg's a babyface. Is that what we're supposed to? Is that what we're supposed to believe? Like, what? Why? I thought Drew was supposed to be the top babyface in the company. In the whole company.
Right. I guess to some he still is, but they gave Goldberg a way to come into this, and that was the way they did it.
Jesus. It's fucking
I don't know if you also noticed too, Goldberg was like cut open a bit too. I don't know if you caught that. Like, it looked like, I guess, he slammed his head again to get himself psyched. Which I appreciate, the fact that he cares.
Oh, you appreciate he concusses himself before his matches? You appreciate that? You appreciate that he's
that he
concussed?
Tries hard.
Yeah, he tries hard. By hitting himself in the head with a locker before his matches. He did that before his Undertaker match in Saudi Arabia, was concussed before the match started, and almost killed Undertaker. Goldberg is the worst. He's the fucking worst. Fuck Goldberg.
Far from it.
He ended Bret Hart's career. He's always sucked at wrestling. He's paid zero dues. He deserves nothing. He's goddamn awful. And the WWE, for some reason, still thinks he's a draw, and they bring him back time and time again. I cannot believe this old motherfucker still keeps showing up. And we're supposed to be scared of this guy? At least Sting has a baseball bat. Goldberg's bleeding and concussed before he even shows up to the match. How are you supposed to be scared of this guy?
Well, as much as you don't like him, like, you have to face facts. He still is a draw, actually.
No, he's
the Rays
not.
Were up again. The Rays were up again this week, and they're going to give him all the credit for that.
Why?
And people were talking more about Raw because Goldberg was there. Whether you like him or not, it created a buzz. And
Yeah, they're like,
again.
Can you believe how shitty Raw is?
Well, this is the good thing about having face versus face. You're going to have people that don't like Goldberg, and that's fine. WWE probably likes that right now because, like, they'll be able to put over the fact that Drew, to many, is still beloved.
So Drew's going to beat Goldberg, right? Because if he
I don't know
doesn't,
about
what
that.
the fuck? What the fuck? What are we doing? Fucking Goldberg.
Well, to me, the way I'm looking at this is that they needed a reason to give The Miz the championship, and I think they found the reason. They're going to have this match, and The Miz is going to capitalize. And I think The Miz will walk out of the Rumble as champion.
I would rather Tatanka, to be honest. Give
He ain't
Tatanka
getting
the
that
belt.
too bad.
Fuck the rest
You're
of
lucky
these
he's in the
people.
Rumble.
Give Omos the belt. Or Omos, as he's now being
Yeah, it's
called.
Omos now. Yeah.
Omos. Fucking Miz.
Give him the chokeslam.
Goldberg, Drew McIntyre. These are the options for the top spot on Raw. Ugh. What a stupid
We're also
show.
getting Drew versus Randy on Raw this week, so
We are?
should be good.
Why?
Oh yeah, it's happening because Randy's great. Always put Randy in the main event.
Oh my God, that's the dream match you're salivating over, right? Randy Goldberg? Is it for the belt?
I wish Drew versus Randy was for the belt because imagine if it was Randy versus Goldberg. That'd be fantastic.
You wouldn't be able to contain
You can't get
yourself.
any better. That's WrestleMania though. Like, I'm glad probably it's not for the Rumble. It's too good for the Rumble.
What? Sometimes you say shit on the show and I'm like, really? Did he say that? I'm in shock. Your best case scenario is my worst case scenario. You realize that?
Of course. It's all right. It's okay.
Goldberg, Randy, Drew, Miz, Roman. Top 5 guys in the WWE. Not even top 20 professional wrestlers in the business today. Couldn't even hit the top 20 if they fucking tried. If they had 10 5-star matches in a row, they still wouldn't hit top 20. Fucking bums. Every last one of them. Fucking no good jabronis. No talent. Boring ass wrestlers. God. Oldberg. Oldberg. The guy who smashed his hand in the limo. The guy who bashes. Like, he's done more damage to himself than anybody's really bumped him in the ring. The guy is ridiculous, man. Like, his whole career has been a farce of professional wrestling, and for some reason the WWE keeps bringing this guy back. The fact that they keep bringing him back baffles me. His run in 2004 was so bad. So bad. They brought him in. They're like, let's try this Goldberg thing. He was awful. And he was still in relatively good shape. And you're like, this is bad. This will never happen again. When he had that match with Brock and Stone Cold stunned him, and I was like, yeah, fuck you, Goldberg. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of the wrestling business, you dick. That was WrestleMania 20. Whatever. Who cares? He took a stunner at the end. Stone Cold won that match. Stone Cold was a referee, but to me, he was a true hero of that match. Okay? That was WrestleMania 20. We're coming up on WrestleMania 37, and we're still talking about Bill Goldberg. He was old at WrestleMania 20. How the fuck is this old bastard who can't work still in the main event?
He was in a title match at last year's WrestleMania. Like, it shouldn't be that big of a surprise. I mean, he hasn't been gone that long.
Trash. Goldberg is a joke. He's a joke of a wrestler. When I watch real professional wrestling, and then I go and I see Bill Goldberg, I'm like, are you kidding me? I see Patrick C. Hamilton. He goes, Dave, you spoke about some Japanese marathon WrestleMania stuff. He tuned in to hear more about that. That's Wrestle Kingdom. That's the WrestleMania of New Japan Professional Wrestling. That's where Kota Ibushi became the double champion, beating Tetsuya Naito on night 1 to win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. And then on night 2, he had another tremendous match with Jay White. That's real wrestling over there. Hiromu and El Phantasmo, like, Jesus. Okada and Will Ospreay. John, I know you haven't seen it, but go out of your way to watch that match. Ridiculous. Shingo Takagi and Jeff Cobb. Are you kidding me? Crazy. Ibushi and Naito, the main event of night 1. Like, that's professional wrestling. That's the sport of professional wrestling. That's the highest level of professional wrestling there is. New Japan Pro Wrestling. AEW's getting there. When I watched Kenny and Rey Fenix on Dynamite this week, I thought, oh, this is like a New Japan match. That's what it felt like. Rob Kluse he goes, how incredible was Cobb and Shingo? It was ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Jeff Cobb is such a talent. I like that new group, too, that Will Ospreay has. He's a leader of a heel faction, the Empire. It's Will Ospreay, his girlfriend there, Bea Priestley. They got Great O'Khan, who's like a new Japanese dude. Great O'Khan. He wrestled Tanahashi on night 1 and lost. But it was still a good showing for Great O'Khan. And Jeff Cobb is in that group. So it's Ospreay, Great O'Khan, Bea Priestley, and Jeff Cobb. 4-person group so far. And tremendous. Tremendous group. I mean, Ospreay as a leader, what a talent. Of course, I think Will Ospreay is the future of professional wrestling. And he might be the presence really soon. And there's Patrick C. Hamilton dropping a super chat. He says, all I need is you guys for everything wrestling. Glad to be a member supporting you. Everyone watching tonight should be too. We appreciate you, Patrick, dropping a super chat, supporting the channel, and as a member as well to the channel. We do bring you everything professional wrestling, everything mixed martial arts. We're the reigning, defending champions of everything combat sports here. And we encourage you to become a member to support the team. Become a member here of the YouTube channel. We appreciate you, just like Antoinette did, just like Kyle Salisbury did, just like Patrick C. Hamilton did, just like my man Jason Pete out in Mexico did. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Become a member. Hit us up on Super Chat. We appreciate you. If you're watching, we are here every Friday night, 10 p.m. right after SmackDown. We're here for every WWE pay-per-view, every AEW pay-per-view, every UFC pay-per-view. We're here. We're going to do a Rumble post-show. We'll be here for the Rumble. We'll be here for UFC 257, Conor McGregor's return. Conor versus Poirier. On the 23rd of January, we're going to do a live watch-along, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday, January 23rd, for the next big UFC pay-per-view. Ringside Report MMA every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Wrestling Uncensored every Friday night, 10 p.m. We're here for you. We're watching all the professional wrestling. We're giving you a good idea of what's going on in the world of pro wrestling. And I can tell you, after watching Wrestle Kingdom, New Japan is still the shit, you know? It's still the number one wrestling company in the world. It's still the company that provides the top wrestling bell to bell anywhere. I can't, you know, there are good matches, there are great wrestlers, there are good companies, but as far as the consistency of quality, that quality is most consistent in New Japan. And that's where you see matches where you're like, Jesus. You know, you're like, how is that, you know? How did he get dropped on his head so much? How did he take that? How is this still going on? And then there's more and more and more. the level of physicality, the level of violence, and not violence with, trash cans or tables or anything like that. It's, physical violence. And in New Japan, it's beautiful, man. It's top level art of professional wrestling, and they hit it out of the park once again with Wrestle Kingdom. Killed it. Great show. Great show. I love New Japan Pro Wrestling. How can you not? And if you're a pro wrestling fan that doesn't watch New Japan, I get that it's hard to get into, but once you get into it, it's worth it, I was a guy who for years was like, I know about New Japan, but I don't know if I want to get into it. Seems like a lot. Seems like a lot of guys I don't know. But once you get into it, they have a lot. Everything's on. They have English commentary for everything. The commentary team is great. Kevin Kelly, Rocky Romero, great commentary. They really explain everything to you on commentary when you watch the matches. And once you get to know all the characters, like, a guy like Toru Yano is such a delightful wrestling character. And if you don't watch New Japan, well, you're deprived of that. You don't get to see Toru Yano. You don't get to see the greatness of Kazuchika Okada. You don't get to see the death-defying acts of Kota Ibushi. You don't get to see the style and persona and wrestling of Tetsuya Naito. You don't get to see the heelish ways of Jay White, or the badassery of Shingo Takagi or Jeff Cobb, or the mesmerizing wrestling, the incredible aerial and just physical assault of Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin. I mean, the things that you see in New Japan, you don't see anywhere else. El Phantasmo, a great Canadian wrestler that people are not talking about nearly enough. Every time I see El Phantasmo wrestle, I think, why isn't the whole world going crazy for this guy's matches? Every time I watch him work, it's like, Jesus, this guy does stuff that he shouldn't be able to do. It's just crazy. His match with Hiromu, like, I know people are going crazy for Jeff Cobb and Shingo and everything, but Hiromu Takahashi as well. Like, Hiromu is my man. Like, I love Hiromu. I ordered a Hiromu t-shirt from Japan just out of respect for the guy. The ticking time bomb, like, he's a brilliant wrestler, and the shit he does, you're like, how does he survive? Taiji Ishimori? Like, there are some guys in New Japan who are like, holy shit. But that match, El Phantasmo and Hiromu, like, watch that. That was crazy. Crazy. I love El Phantasmo. John, you don't know that guy. I think he's from BC or something. Canadian wrestler. But he's got, like, no buzz. You know what I mean? Like, there's no buzz for El Phantasmo. But there should be tremendous buzz for El Phantasmo. You know what I mean? Like, he is... And the persona, the character, the wrestling, he's got everything. The promo ability... I'm not sure why he hasn't crossed over into superstardom of professional wrestling. When you talk about the great wrestlers in the world today, I'm not sure why people aren't talking about El Phantasmo. I don't get it. He's ridiculous. I'm a huge fan of that guy. And there's like zero buzz. It's very strange. If I were the WWE or AEW, and I were scouting, I wouldn't go for like the big guys because they're going to cost more money and, they're already established. Like, if you're WWE and you aren't thinking of trying to sign Okada, or I saw Jay White's contract is up, like Jay White just main evented Tokyo Dome against Ibushi. Yes, for sure you'd want to sign Jay White, but how about trying to sign El Phantasmo? Like, I don't know what New Japan's paying him, but I bet WWE could beat it. I would look at guys like that. But I feel like there's not enough buzz for a guy like El Phantasmo, who, yes, is in the Bullet Club. What a guy.
Not the elite Bullet Club, yes.
No, not the elite Bullet Club. He's in the real Bullet Club in New Japan with Bad Luck Fale, the Rogue General.
But now that Japan's...
Fale, man. You're missing out on Fale. If you're not watching New Japan... You don't see the Dangerous Techers. You're not seeing Taichi. You're not seeing Zack Sabre. You're not seeing the Gorillas of Destiny. There's so much you're missing out on if you're not watching New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm just saying, John. I know you love wrestling, and I tell you all the time, man. Get into it. It's worth it. New Japan World, get the subscription. It's like $10 a month. It's worth it.
Well, it's tough right now because we watch a lot of wrestling anyways without New Japan, so it's tough. But isn't like Japan entering like a new lockdown now? So like it's a new state of emergency. So won't this like stop New Japan from having shows?
Oh, I don't know.
Definitely no fans again.
You're catching me off guard. I didn't know about this. There's another lockdown.
Oh, okay.
Too many lockdowns, bro. Lock down these nuts.
No, it's good.
Okay?
Lock down everything.
Lock down yourself, all right?
I am.
You know, this time tonight we wouldn't be allowed outside. You know that? This time tomorrow night we wouldn't. Yeah, this time tomorrow night we wouldn't be allowed outdoors because we're under curfew. How crazy!
It's good.
What kind of world are we gonna be living in? It's great. You like this? You like curfews?
Yeah.
You like being barred from exiting your home?
I think it's necessary. It needed to be done.
Oh, yeah, because a bunch of people are catching COVID by taking walks outside after 8 p.m. That's how you get COVID, by taking a nighttime walk. Illegal gatherings. Yeah, for sure. But also, that's not really... Anyways, we won't get into it, but... You know, they asked the guy, Iruda, the scientific guy, the head doctor for the province, are like, what's the science behind this? You know, is there any proof that this is going to help stop the spread? And he's like, no, we don't really have proof. They're just trying shit, John. They don't really have a good idea of what they're doing. They're just trying things and seeing if it'll work. We're the only province that's doing this. Yet they're keeping the schools open, but on Ontario, they're keeping the schools closed. So what? No curfew in Ontario, which is like not far away from where we live, but no schools. Here, curfew, but schools are open. What?
I'm not saying I agree with everything. Schools should be closed. I think
Johnny wants everything closed forever. Johnny just wants everything locked down.
Not forever. Just for now. Most of winter, for sure.
Whatever. This is why I want to talk about pro wrestling, because this other shit is just depressing. It's stupid. Bunch of jabronis. Couldn't lace my boots, brother. All right. Let's fucking... what else is happening?
Well, we didn't talk about AEW yet.
Are we done with WWE? Is that it? Did we talk about
what
everything?
else happened on Raw?
I don't know. IRS was there, and he didn't... you know, like Ric Flair's backstage. Ric Flair's backstage talking to IRS, and then Randy Orton shows up, gets in Flair's face. IRS doesn't say anything. Hey, you killed my son, man! You burned him to a crisp! You son of a bitch!
Not acknowledged.
Yeah, I know.
Acknowledged on TV.
I know, but he's his dad, you know? Anyways, that didn't happen. The Fiend is still dead, I guess?
Yep. Alexa's not dead, though, sadly.
Did Tatanka say anything? Yeah, Alexa didn't get burned, right? Randy revealed this week that he didn't burn Alexa. He wanted to. Like, that was really dumb, John. That was super dumb. Randy's like, so last week I was going to burn Alexa Bliss, but then I didn't because I had reservations about doing things so awful because the Fiend changed me. He changed me and made me feel like I shouldn't do bad things to people. But then I thought, oh, he changed me, and now I want to do even more bad things to so many other people. And it's like, what the hell was he talking about? That promo was ridiculous. It made no sense. He's like, the Fiend made me have remorse and not attack Alexa, but then I realized that he actually made me more evil, and now I'm going to do more evil things to everybody. So if that's true, why didn't you burn up Alexa? Didn't make any sense. Promo was stupid. Randy's delivery of it was bad. It's just bad writing. It's just bad all around. 2 thumbs down.
I had no problem with it. They're trying to sell Randy that he's the ultimate evil. Like the Fiend's an evil, but Randy's even more evil. That's what they're trying to put over. I thought they pretty much did that right there.
The Fiend has changed me. I have restraint now, and that restraint makes me hate myself, but I can turn that hatred outward, and now I'm capable of anything. I'm a super demon villain now. Like, how fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Okay. He's like, I don't know. I don't know superheroes, but like he's one of those. He's like Lex Luthor or something, you know? It's like a supervillain.
Maybe Darkseid. Darkseid's better.
I don't know what Darkseid is. What's that from?
He's the ultimate evil. That's all you got to know.
I don't like comic books. I don't like superheroes. I don't like comic books. I don't like comic book movies. Okay? I don't like any of that shit.
Well, Randy's great no matter what. It doesn't
Fuck
matter.
Randy.
Randy should be champion on Raw.
Randy sucks. Fuck Randy. Dana Brooke beat Shayna this week somehow. Dana reversed Shayna's choke into a pin. And then Shayna got mad, wouldn't release the hold, so Mandy Rose came in to attack. And she did. She got Shayna. That happened.
Well, that happened, and I guess it's because they always win, right? Like Shayna and Nia, they always beat Dana and Mandy, so that was to give them a win. But I mean, it was a out of nowhere fluky kind of win, so
it's weird.
It's not the end of the world. It's kind of stupid though for Shayna, who was like, take out everyone in an Elimination Chamber match by herself, and now she can't even beat Dana Brooke. It's a huge fall for her, but
yep,
you could tell at WrestleMania when they didn't give it to her when they should have, that it's hard to get behind her whatsoever now.
Yep, she had a little tag team run, but I don't know what they do with Shayna going forward after this. Big E tonight on SmackDown beats Apollo Crews after the big ending. A good match, but like they did a double pin after a superplex, and it looked like Apollo beat him, really.
Yep.
Not a great first defense for Big E. Like, you're supposed to be pushing Big E. He wins the Intercontinental title. This is his first defense, and he kind of loses in the first defense.
Yep.
At least he goes to a draw. He then beat Apollo, but still, like, Apollo got a ton of over. Apollo's been where on the roster, you know? I feel like Apollo got way too much, and Big E didn't look anywhere near strong enough. He certainly didn't look like a guy who was about to win the Rumble and face Roman Reigns, right? That's what I got tonight.
Definitely not.
Watching SmackDown tonight, I was like, well, forget about Big E winning the Rumble. If he can't beat Apollo Crews without going to a draw first, he ain't coming close to Roman Reigns or the Royal Rumble. Not this year. It's too bad.
It is, but it is nice that they're giving Apollo something, because I think he's a great talent, and he shouldn't just be like lost in the shuffle. I'm glad that they're actually going to give him something. It looks like him and Big E, they're going to continue to feud. So that's fine, but yeah, Big E, that big push, like, it's not going to completely be there yet, unfortunately. I don't think he's going to win the Rumble, sadly.
Yeah. He's a tremendous talent. His match with Apollo was very good. But, WWE, it's how they do. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode are the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. The Street Profits' year-long reign as tag team champions is over? This was quite a run for the Profits. It's done. They've been champions forever.
I think since last February they've been champions. But it's about time. I figured it was going to be the Usos right around this time, but they gave it to Ziggler and Roode instead. Fine, okay.
I mean, we talked about it last week. Giving it to Ziggler and Roode after this long run for the Street Profits is kind of like a dud finish. Because the Street Profits, such a long run, and then it's like, here's Ziggler and Roode, their first real challengers on SmackDown, and then just beat them. And that's it.
It's disappointing, but I guess they needed some sort of title change to make SmackDown exciting this week, because they weren't getting it from the Intercontinental title match. So that was it. It was just to add some interest into the tag team division where not much is going on anyways. So
yeah,
make a title change.
Yeah, I agree. Like, change things up, keep it moving, but at the same time, Ziggler and Roode, I don't see them shaking things up in a major way in the tag division. Like, what do? They just continue feuding with the Street Profits. I like Ziggler and Rude as a tag team.
Yeah.
They look good together. They have matching gear. They're veterans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, them as a tag team, it works. Their wrestling is solid, but there's no sizzle. It's all steak. You know? There's no, you know what I mean? Like, there's no,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Right.
not fun. Like, Ziggler and Rude, they're serviceable they're good hands, you know? Like, they're good.
Right, yeah.
They're fine, but it's hard to get excited about them. And the Street Profits are the opposite. They're all sizzle and very little steak, you know? Very little meat there. They're not really solid They're still a bit green, you know what I mean? They're still a little shaky.
Right.
But at least they've got the persona. They've got charisma. Ziggler and Rude are very like, yeah, you know what you're going to get. They're good.
Yep.
They're solid B-plus players, but they're not superstars, unfortunately. And I know
but
people
you're
love
gonna get
Ziggler.
this.
You know what I mean? Like, people love Ziggler, people love Rude, and I get it. They're good, but are they top-level main event players? You know, I don't think they are.
No, but you need a break from the Street Profits always winning all the time. You need someone to give them some sort of challenge, and this is it. I mean, I fully expect the Street Profits to win the tag team titles back. You know, if not the next pay-per-view, the pay-per-view after that or something like that. Like, it's only a matter of time, but, like, at least a bump in the road is nice.
Yeah.
Change of, like, direction.
Yeah, I think that's all this is, just a bump in the road. I think it is a totally new direction, though, for Billie Kay. I think she's found her team. She's with the Riot Squad now, which I like. I think it'll work. No?
Really? All right. I have no idea where they're going with this whatsoever, but if you believe in it, sure, I'll take your word for it.
I believe in Billie Kay.
To me,
she's my favorite.
Okay, fine, but like it just seems like completely random. Just put her with the Riot Squad. It seems like they didn't have much of any idea to go with her. Like, one second she's just trying to be on commentary, now she's going to be a manager. Like, seems like it changes 1 week from the next.
You gotta be joking me. It's one of her catchphrases.
I'm not.
You didn't know that? Come on, Billie Kay, man. Billie Kay is the best. She's one of the best promos in WWE. Billie Kay is a hero. I love Billie Kay, okay? I might be the world's biggest Billie Kay fan. I'm a huge fan of Billie Kay. Every time she's on a microphone, every time she's doing a promo, I'm like, yeah, it's Billie Kay time. Let's see what she's going to say. And it's always good. She's very talented. I don't know why you don't see it. What's your problem?
Yeah, I just don't see it. I see what you're saying, but it's okay.
You don't like
I'll
women's
survive.
wrestlers. All right, that's your problem. You don't like any women's
Incorrect.
wrestlers.
Lacey Evans should be the champ right now.
Oh, yeah?
100%. Like,
who else
she's
do you
one of
like?
the best things right now. Thunder Rose is really good. Serena Dibb's pretty good too.
Can't even say her name right.
Deeb, sorry. You know,
I'll
live. I'll survive.
I like everybody. Bailey, Sasha, Bianca, Lacey, Charlotte, Shayna, Billie Kay.
You like everybody.
I like them
That's
all.
fun.
They're all
Like
great.
everybody.
They're all great. I don't like them all. I don't like everybody. I don't care for Ruby Riott. I don't really care for Sonya Deville. How come Sonya Deville is allowed back in WWE? She lost a loser leaves WWE match at SummerSlam. It's not loser leaves WWE for 4 months. It's loser leaves WWE. Get out of here, Sonya. We don't want to see you again.
Well, she's not wrestling, though. It's
I'm not
a different
stalking
role.
her, that's for sure. I don't ever want to see her. I'm for sure not stalking her. I'm staying away. I don't want to see Sonya Deville. She's boring. I don't know why people like her. Boring as hell. She's one I don't like. There you go. I found one. I think I like all the women's wrestlers. I don't like Sonya. I don't really
she's
care
not wrestling,
for.
though.
I don't really care
She's
for a lot of people too. There's other women's wrestlers I don't like, but goddamn, I like Charlotte and Bailey, and Becky, and Bianca, and Lacey, and Peyton, and Billy. I don't really like Liv or Ruby. I don't like them, but now that they're with Billy, better.
Interesting. Okay. Wow.
All right.
Well, I got no problem with Sonya. Like, I think she's fine. Like, as the assistant GM of SmackDown, I think that's a fine role. That's not really been used since, like, I think, what, Daniel Bryan, Paige. Actually, I think Paige was the actual GM, but this is fine for her. It gives her something to do.
So shouldn't Roman Reigns like call up Naomi and Jimmy Uso and tell Naomi to beat up Sonya Deville if she's
Naomi's
with
on
Adam
Raw.
Pearce? She is? When's the last? Where's Naomi?
She seems to be very injury prone. I don't know if you've noticed. Like, it seems like she's always hurt.
I feel like she hasn't been on TV since Jimmy Uso's been off TV. I don't know what's going on there, but I miss
No, I think she
Naomi.
came back.
I love Naomi. Another one. Tremendous.
She
didn't
seems to come back. Yeah,
When?
she
Not
wrestled
on
Bailey
Raw.
for a little bit. No, not on Raw. She hasn't debuted on Raw yet. But like she was on SmackDown for a bit, had a run, disappeared, and then came back, gone again. Like again, consistency. You got to stay consistent. You keep getting hurt or like for whatever reasons there's drama backstage and you have to take time off. That hurts you. Like eventually you just get lost.
Gotta love Naomi. Tremendous. All right. Before we talk about AEW, I want to tell you about our friends over at Manscaped. You need to go to manscaped.com. You need to use that promo code ringside20. You see all the wrestlers? You ever see wrestlers in their little trunks? You ever see any gimmicks hanging out there? Any hair? No, because they're using Manscaped. They know what's going on. Manscaped.com. They've got the Lawnmower 3.0. You can shave right down to the skid, keep you nice and trim, looking good. Manscaped.com. Use that promo code ringside20. You get 20% off. You get free shipping on your order. It's a tremendous deal. They've got the ball deodorant. They got the crop revitalizer. They've got all the things to keep your balls smelling just terrific. Terrific. People that go near your balls will thank you. They will come back. You will have returning customers, and that's what you want. Not customers, visitors, friends. Friends of the balls, right? That's what you want. You want friends. You want people to come back and just, people to keep coming back. If they go near your balls the first time, chances are you want them to come back the second time. You want to leave a good impression, Manscaped will leave that good impression for you. Manscaped.com, use that promo code ringside20, 20% off your order, free shipping. You will be looking nice, just like me and Johnny North.
You want to keep all those visitors virtual for the time being.
Not necessarily.
Well, unless you fall under the certain criteria where you can actually have visitors.
Yeah, you can have visitors.
But
You're a single man. You're allowed to have visitors to your home, right? You're allowed to have a visitor. You could have a lady come over, Johnny. You're allowed, baby. Live life.
it has to be one person, and like it has to be that one person. That's it. It can't.
How
You
many
can't constantly
ladies?
switch it.
How many ladies you trying to see, Johnny North? Has to be one
You said,
lady
like-
only. Oh,
You
visitors.
said S, so like.
Oh,
yeah.
well, things happen. Things happen, baby. Rules are broken. Things get saucy. All right, let's talk about AEW. What's the problem?
Shameful, Dave. Shameful.
I don't know. I'm just making things up, John. I'm just talking. I'm trying to liven up your life here. I'm trying to keep things spicy for you, not for me. I'm talking about you.
I had some spicy pizza today. Actually, it was pretty good.
All right. Young Bucks and SCU beat TH2 and the Acclaimed in the opening match on Dynamite. Frankie Kazarian and Chris Daniels cut a promo afterwards that said if they lose a match, that they will break up forever, which is kind of weird. I didn't know they were doing that.
Well, they said that on Dark, and now they just had to repeat on Dynamite because no one watches Dark. So
Exactly. Well, I didn't know that because I don't watch Dark. No one watches Dark. Daniel says that they will have the Bucks back until the Bucks give them a title shot, and then all bets are off. So that's how we open the show. What did you think of the opening match?
I thought there was a lot of great near falls in that match. Very spectacular. I thought the finish was very weird. Seems kind of awkward the way they put it together, but still enjoyed like the action that we saw. Like I don't think we see Jack Evans enough, unfortunately, on Dynamite. Like I think he's really great, and he kind of gets lost on Dark, unfortunately. Like I think he really showcased himself this week on Dynamite.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see TH2 very often on Dynamite, so he's got to do what he's got to do. I know you're a big Jack Evans fan. I thought the match was okay, not very, remarkable. It was just, it was what you would expect from those 8 guys, right? 8-man tag. It was all right. Moxley does a promo after in the ring. He says he's not going to complain about how he lost the title to Kenny. He says he wants to attack Kenny and Don Callis, but he won't because the AEW title is on the line tonight, and he doesn't want to get in the way of Rey Fenix and his shot. But Mox tells Kenny that he will never be safe, and he will get even. So Moxley threatening Kenny Omega. This was Moxley's first appearance on AEW since losing the belt. And Moxley wants revenge. Flip to the end of the show. It's Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix. Kenny getting the win via pinfall after a one-winged angel to retain the AEW title. Don Callis and Kenny Omega start cutting a promo after the match, and they're like, hey, Rey Fenix, look at your buddies. And they're getting beat up on the big screen. They're backstage or in the parking lot or something. Pentagon and Pac, the other members of the Triangle de la Muerte, with Rey Fenix. They're getting beat up by Eddie Kingston, Butcher, and The Blade. So Pentagon and Pac can't help Rey Fenix. And Don Callis tells Kenny to finish him off. But Jon Moxley's there to make the save. He's got a barbed wire baseball bat, hits Kenny in the gut with it. But then to save Kenny, it's the Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions, former WWE Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. They show up. They attack Moxley. Eventually, Griff Garrison. Who the fuck is Griff Garrison? He shows up. Him and Brian Pillman show up. They start attacking. They get beat down. Some more wrestlers/audience members show up. They also get beat down. Kenny beats on Moxley with the barbed wire baseball bat. It's a beatdown on Moxley. The Bucks show up. They're like, what's going on here? And Kenny's like, come on, buddy. We're all friends. Bullet Club, let's throw up the Too Sweet. Anderson's throwing it up. Kenny's throwing it up. Gallows throws it up. Don Callis is in there. They're all got the Too Sweet. Nick Jackson's like, all right, baby, let's go. He throws it up. And Matt Jackson's like, damn. All right, I guess we're doing this. Too Sweet, baby. Bullet Club, Elite, they're back. The boys. Anderson, Gallows, the Bucks, Kenny, all together. Seeing them in the ring together was like, wow. Look at these guys. This is magnificent. This is professional wrestling. This is a hell of an angle, brother. I didn't think the Bucks would be with Kenny. If the Bucks, they're EVPs of AEW. Kenny's an EVP of AEW. Kenny's doing this whole invasion thing. He's bringing in the Impact guys that are his buddies that screwed over AEW. There was a contract situation that's now famous where the Good Brothers were going to sign with AEW to start off the company. They were going to go with them, but then they decided to take the WWE's big money offer. And then, of course, the pandemic hits. WWE cuts a bunch of people, and the Good Brothers get cut. They sign with Impact. But now they get to work with AEW anyways. And you figure that the Bucks would not be with Kenny on this quest, but they are. Which adds a whole new wrinkle into this storyline. I was a little bit surprised to see the Bucks not only come out at the end there, but throw up the Too Sweet and be one unified group. And they are advertised to appear and be in action in some way. The Elite will be in action on Dynamite this Wednesday. What that means, we still don't know. We have to tune in. But there's going to be some form of the Elite in action on Dynamite coming up Wednesday night. Johnny North, I mean, this is the hottest angle in wrestling, is it not?
It's interesting. It's definitely something, it caught my interest without question. But I also thought this was going to happen a couple weeks ago when they started on Impact. It feels like they're kind of late to this, but it's fine. At least it's starting to go on AEW television as well now, so that's cool. However, apparently Nick may have injured himself. Well, actually, I think Meltzer said that he did injure himself in that match the opening match. Because when Jack Evans went to hit the 630, when Nick put his knees up, like apparently he was like limping afterwards. And if you noticed in that main event segment, Nick doesn't go for a super kick, Matt does. And it's kind of awkward where it's like that was perfectly set up for a double super kick, but only Matt hit the super kick. So I definitely think there's something to that. So you got to wonder. I mean, Matt was already hurt going into this anyways, right? So now both Bucks are hurt. You got to wonder what's going to happen now.
I don't know. If the Bucks are really hurt, can't they just finger poke a Doom the tag titles on the Good Brothers?
I could see them easily drop those tag team titles like out of nowhere, sadly. So we'll see where this goes because I'm sure they're going to get it checked out. I'm sure Nick's probably going to get his leg checked out, but you got to hope it's nothing too serious and he can work through it like Matt is right now because if not, this might be over sooner than you expect.
I don't think so. I think they're going to keep this story going whatever happens, and I love it. I think it's very cool. Very cool. And I can't wait to see where they take it because the possibilities now, I mean, they're in Impact. They're in AEW. You're seeing Kenny go to Impact. You're seeing the Good Brothers show up on AEW. You're seeing the Young Bucks align themselves here with them. How does Cody feel about this? You know, where does Cody fit in? Where does Hangman fit in? Is Hangman the new leader of the Dark Order? I don't know if you saw Being the Elite this week, but Dark Order's just sitting there. They're all sad, obviously, mourning the loss of their leader, Brody Lee. They're all sitting in the lair, quiet, all looking sad. Hangman comes in. He goes, "Hey, can I sit with you guys?" And John Silver just kind of waves him over, and he sits down. And it's like, oh, is Hangman the leader of the Dark Order now? And he's the guy that they need to kind of rally the troops. They all love Hangman so much, and they were trying to get him to join. If he now leads them and kind of picks up the energy with the Dark Order, I think it would be a great move for that group. Especially if Hangman down the road, a year from now or whatever, beats Kenny, becomes a champion. Imagine the celebration there for the Dark Order. Doing it for Mr. Brody. It's a hell of a story. Hell of a baby face. And Hangman Page is the guy to do it. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's such a talented guy. He's such a star in the making. Every time I see Hangman Page, I'm just blown away. It's just like, wow, this guy, he's going to be everything to pro wrestling. I truly believe that. I think Hangman's going to be the number one guy in AEW at some point in his career. And he's going to be the number one guy in the whole business. At some point, the whole wrestling business is going to be about Hangman. I really believe that. He's that good.
So. Yeah, I think that's going to happen eventually. But no, I don't know if we're there yet because I think Moxley's probably going to get the next shot, I think. He's probably going to get the rematch at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Moxley, Kenny, those guys now, definitely. But Hangman Page is 29. In 5 years,
right,
when he's 34, when he's the age of a Moxley or a Kenny, like Moxley's 35, Kenny I think is he's a little older, he's 37, Cody is 35, you know what I mean? Like in 5 years, when they're in their 40s, and Hangman is just hitting his mid-30s, his company, his world. We're 2 or 3 years away, which is crazy to think because you see Hangman now and you think he's ready. He's a world champion. He's ready. But in 2 or 3 years, he's going to be way bigger, way better, and he's going to be the top star in the whole business. So, and knowing this, and knowing that AEW knows this as well, the build and the run, and once he finally climbs that mountain and gets to the top, it's gonna be great. Enjoy the ride. That's all I can tell you. Watch Hangman, enjoy the ride. because the next 4 or 5 years for Hangman Page are going to be incredible. Incredible. And it's going to be really fun for pro wrestling fans. I promise you. I have a lot of confidence in that guy.
Oh, hopefully it works out. The time will tell on that one.
Tremendous. Yeah, I mean, for sure. But I see him and I think, yep, 100%. You know who's not a good wrestler? Snoop Dogg. Shit wrestler. Terrible. That was the worst top rope splash I've ever seen in my life. So Cody Rhodes beats Matt.
Worse.
Okay. Well, you've seen a lot of bad wrestling. Cody Rhodes beat Matt Sydal. I thought the match was really good. I like that. And then
Great match.
Serpentico and Luther show up to attack Cody. Why?
Because during that match, I believe Sydal got shot into them, and they took that personally. So there you go.
Okay, so they attack, and then they're just there to get beat up by Snoop Dogg, right? Serpentico's just there to take a splash from Snoop Dogg. He goes to the top rope. Sydal and Cody are now together, and they're helping Snoop, and they're just bringing Serpentico closer and closer, and Snoop just kind of jumps off the top rope, lands on his feet, and then like falls in a heap on top of Serpentico. Not a good top rope splash. Quite awful. I mean, I get it. He's tall. He's not an athlete. He's an older man. But
it's like 50, no?
Don't do it then. How about not doing it? Makes wrestling look stupid. On the one hand, it makes wrestling look dumb, but on the other hand, it makes wrestling look incredibly hard because, like, it's a top rope splash. You see that move so often, it seems very basic. It seems very easy to pull off, and then you see this man go up and just fail miserably, you know? So clearly it's not that easy. Wrestling's harder than it looks, but at the same time, should you really allow a man to do such a terrible splash on your TV show?
Well, I think the way they looked at it was that we have this, celebrity who wants to do something. He wants to get involved. He wants to do a move. People are going to be talking about this. So, yeah, let's let him do it. I mean, it might not be good, but let's let him try it out. Sad part is, like, live television, you shouldn't have that mentality. If anything, you got to think, what's the way we can make this the best possible outcome for us, for everybody involved? And I think the best thing that they should have done, instead of going for like, oh, top rope splash, that'll be so cool, go for something that people will be talking about, but it's easier to pull off. Like, have Snoop Dogg hit the bank statement. If he does that, I think everyone will be talking about that.
He couldn't.
And it's easier for him to pull that off. How can you not pull that off? You just fall back.
Yeah, take a bump too. You got to hit a backstabber.
Legs.
You take a back bump while holding a guy, flip him over into a submission hold. You think Snoop Dogg can do that? Are you crazy, bro?
Oh, it doesn't have to look fancy and great. Like
no.
Use the backstabber and then just lock a hold in. That's it.
He can't lock a hold. He couldn't do a backstabber. He couldn't take a bump or lock a hold. Get out of here, man. That wouldn't work. This is what you do with Snoop Dogg. A punch. A clothesline.
No, that'd be awful. That'd be the worst. Like, a lot of wrestlers can't punch. Like, no way. Not with Snoop Dogg. That would expose the business even worse. Like,
well,
never
teach him how to raise his foot up and have Cody whip Serpentico into the ropes, into Snoop, and give him a big boot. How about a big boot? Something. Not a top rope splash, and certainly not a bank statement like an involved finishing sequence. That's a worse idea, John. Thank God you're not producing this shit.
No, bank statement, people would be talking it like crazy.
People would be talking, but
terrible splash.
There's no way in a million years he could pull that off.
He could try for a splash, but a bank statement is more ridiculous.
I've seen Sasha fuck it up. It's not easy.
He could pull it off.
All right.
There's guys there to help him.
You're wrong. You're wrong again, but that's okay, John.
I'm right.
Did you think Wardlow should have beat Hager? Was that the move? What'd you think of that match? Wardlow beating Jake Hager.
Surprising, but yeah, in the end, I think it was the right move. Actually, I mean, I thought Hager carried that match a lot, but in the end, it's the right move because like you're pushing the up and coming guy. Like Hager, like he's kind of distracted with Bellator a bit, right? So as good as it is to have him around, he kind of like comes and goes, unfortunately. So it's really hard to get behind him in AEW.
He's also older, and Wardlow's the guy that you kind of want to push as your next monster, right?
Right, right. Yeah, that's another thing too.
How old is Wardlow? Wardlow wrestler. How old is this guy? He's young. He looks young. Oh, he's 32. He's younger than Hager, though.
But he's
Hager's, I
new.
think, in his 38.
But he's new though. So that's the thing though. And he's homegrown in a sense too, right? So you kind of want to build new stars. And that's the way to do it. Hager's kind of already established in a sense, so.
Hager's real name is Donald?
What's wrong with that?
I didn't know his name was Donald. He's Donald
Okay.
Jacob Hager Jr. He's Donald Jr. He's Don Jr.
I'm sure
I didn't know
that's kind of cool.
I don't know. I didn't know he was. I thought his name was Jake. His middle name is Jacob. Huh. Maybe he goes by
I
Jake,
can see why
though.
he used it.
I mean, I don't know. I wonder if anybody calls him Donald or Don. Does he use the Donald? I had no idea his name was Donald Jacob Hager. I thought his name was Jake Hager. Yeah, they call him Jake Hager.
Yeah. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah, well, in UFC they called CM Punk. So I mean, you get called whatever you're known as. They're trying to
also,
I mean, Jake Hager's not in Bellator because he's a great MMA fighter. You know what I mean? Jake Hager's in Bellator because he's a known guy.
Also, Bobby Lashley. They didn't call him Roberto Lashley, right?
Roberto. No one calls him Roberto. I love that though. Bert Lashley. That's what I call him. Oh, Bert. Miroslav will be wrestling Chuck Taylor on Dynamite on Wednesday. You think Chuck's got a shot? Is Trent okay?
I hope he loses.
Trent's hurt, right?
Well, Trent tore his pec, so he's going to be out for like half a year. So
that sucks.
It's kind of a bummer for him. But this is a good thing to use for Chuck right now. Is just have him be the young boy to Miro for, I guess, a month. That's entertaining television.
Is that what happens? If Chuck loses, he has to be Miro's like assistant man?
Pretty much. Till the wedding, I think.
Till the wedding, which is when?
I want to say the second week of February.
Oh, they have a date for it. Right, like it's around Valentine's Day, right? I get it. Serena Deeb will defend the NWA Women's title against Tay Conti on Dynamite. Is Tay Conti in the Dark Order now?
Ty Conte, but
it doesn't matter what her name is.
It doesn't. It seemed like she was very buddy, but officially I don't believe she is, though.
Because the promo that they did for her, Anna Jay was there with her, and Johnny Hungy was there too. And that was not enough Johnny Hungy on the show. Like, every episode of Dynamite should have a good chunk of it dedicated to Johnny Hungy. You know, he should wrestle or do a promo on every show. He shouldn't just be in the background for Ty Conti's promo, okay? Johnny Hungy should be front and center. And I get, like, okay, Mr. Brody last week, and maybe you don't know what to do with Johnny Hungy, but could put him in a match or something? Like, I don't know. I feel like this guy is the hottest thing in AEW. It was a stacked
show, though.
I know, but he's like... He's their hot act. He's Johnny Hungy. Who's better than Johnny Hungy? Nobody. No fucking buddy. Forget MJF. Forget Darby Allin. Like, I could see less Darby Allin and Team Taz and Sting and more Johnny Hungy. Like, Sting's on the show every week, just standing there in the fake snow with Darby Allin. Those two jabronis. And no Johnny Hungy? I don't know.
I think a lot more people know who Sting is, so it makes much more sense.
That's because he's given TV time.
Well, you're building him slowly.
Johnny Hungy.
But you got He's going to get there, you know. I think the problem too is you kind of alluded to it a bit. Like,
Handsome boy.
Where are you going with the
Mustard boy?
Dark Order? Where are they going with it though?
You know, he's
Like,
the elite champion, BTE champion, Johnny Hungy.
Nice.
Still
good
champion.
for him. To a title that doesn't mean much. That's nice.
You're just jealous because he's got huge arms, John.
I think when that promo he did with Chris Statlander, he made me never watch Being the Elite ever again.
Oh, you mean Buttlander? You mean Fartlander? Is that what you're talking about? Ooh.
I forget what they called her, but
Fartlander?
It's really bad. That was the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, no more BT ever again.
What do you mean?
That.
When Statlander hit Alex Reynolds in the junk, and then Johnny Hungy was like, "Why'd you do that to his beautiful peach? Why would you do that?" You didn't like that? I love that. It's classic BTE. What are you talking about?
If that's classic, I never want to see that ever again.
That guy cracks me up. That guy can do no wrong. John Silver is the man. Johnny Hungy. I love him. I want more. All I want to see is Johnny Hungy. That's why I watch BTE, just to see Johnny Hungy. I'm certainly not watching for Alex Abrahantes and whatever the fuck he is. I don't give a shit about him. I want to see Johnny Hungy. I'm not watching to see Diamante talk to the fucking Proud and Powerful guys. I don't give a shit about those guys. They're not funny on BTE. They suck on BTE. Johnny Hungy. That's the fucking guy I want to see. Johnny Hungy. And I want to see Frankie Kazarian say do ya to people. Do ya? I like that gimmick. That's a good one. You see him do that?
Oh, he's been doing that.
Hey, Johnny North. Hey, Johnny North, you like Randy Orton? Do ya?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, it's good. Fucking great gimmick. Do ya? I like the do ya. And the angry Frankie. I like Frankie Kazarian and Johnny Hungy. Other than that, fuck BTE. Pac is going to wrestle Eddie Kingston on Dynamite. That should be good. I feel bad.
Didn't they pull?
I'm not going to shit on Eddie Kingston anymore.
There's a match supposed to happen. I think Britt Baker's match actually got pulled, unfortunately.
She wasn't doing a match. She's doing a promo segment.
No, but they were supposed to have that match. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa was supposed to happen as well.
Womp womp.
But that's been pulled. Well, that's really too bad. They've been pushing them like crazy, that match.
Well, they'll do it the week after.
Maybe a couple weeks after.
Whatever. I don't care. It's not something I was waiting for. Britt Baker will host The Waiting Room, an interview segment, and her guest will be Cody Rhodes. What's Cody got to talk about? Who's he even feuding with? Shaq?
Well, I think it's to kind of put him in the right direction, right? That's usually what these promos do. When Cody's kind of like all over the place, it's kind of to get him centered in a sense. Like, pretty much set him up for who he's going to wrestle at the pay-per-view, I think.
MJF?
Like, I think he's going to wrestle MJF, but I don't know if that's where we're going right now. Honestly, like, eventually he's going to wrestle Kenny. Like, we're not there yet, but we're eventually going to get there, I think.
It's not going to be a Sting Darby thing. He's not going to get involved with that because Darby is going to wrestle Brian Cage, right? Or no, Ricky Starks, right? For the TNT title?
Brian Cage.
Brian Cage.
Brian Cage for the title. Yeah.
There's so many guys in the ring. I don't know who's wrestling who. Team Taz. So Darby Allin's going to wrestle Taz for the TNT title. And that's happening on Dynamite this week, right? So maybe after that will be more clear. Like maybe then Darby moves away from Team Taz. Or maybe you do like a 6-man at the pay-per-view where it's like Sting, Cody, Darby versus Cage, Starks, and Hobbs as Sting's AEW debut.
I mean, you also have to take into consideration that during Cody's match, he used the Scorpion Death Lock and the Scorpion Death Drop. So I think that was kind of like, taking shots at Sting. So it's still not impossible. It's Cody versus Sting.
I don't think they do the one-on-one right away. Maybe, but
I don't think
how do you set it up?
But it's not possible.
Yeah, but there's no reason.
Just make it a movie match.
Movie match. Oh, jeez. That's not what I want to see. FTR is going to wrestle Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy. They're leaving the big dinosaur at home. It's going to be the little guys of the Jurassic Express taking on FTR. That'll be a beatdown.
Yeah, but I want to hear Jungle Boy's entrance because I think that's going to be great. Now that Tony Khan gave him some really good music.
What happened?
They got the rights to the song Tarzan Boy. I don't know if you know that song or...
No.
I think you'll know it when he comes out next week. It's going to get over very well with the AEW audience, without question. Like, it's kind of too bad. It's really a shame. Like, if they actually had like a full like audience, like he'd be one of the most over guys in all of AEW, just on the entrance alone.
I don't know what the song is.
It's an old 80s song.
So
it's very catchy.
Is it?
Oh yeah. People will be into it. People will more than likely like be singing the song throughout most of the match, I would imagine.
Okay.
It's that good.
Johnny is very excited about Jungle Boy's new song. All happening on Dynamite this Wednesday. I guess that's a reason to get excited. Jungle Boy's song. That's why Johnny's tuning in. I'm tuning in to see what the Elite is going to do. Bullet Club for life. That's it. I want to give a shout out to everybody on the chat. I see you, Mako8033. He thinks he's chatting to himself, but I see you, Mako. I see you, Bob Cote. We appreciate you. Who else? Rob Cluse was here tonight. Patrick C. Hamilton, of course, dropping the super chat. He is a member. I encourage you all to become members like Patrick C. Hamilton is, like Kyle is, like Antoinette, like Jason. Become a member of the Ringside Report team. Become a member of the YouTube channel right now. We appreciate you. You just sign up every single month. You're with us. You're part of the team. You get special emojis in the chat that you can use. Dave Face, Johnny Face, AJ Face, Fred Face. And I see you more clearly in the chat. Your name pops up in green. So I see you more. And I give you preferential treatment. That's just how it works if you're a member of the team. And it helps us continue, to pay for everything. The studio, operating remotely. I don't know if you noticed this, but this is a pretty high-end professional operation. And it's not free to do this. And there's nobody really paying our bills, all right? This is a grassroots, fan-supported, viewer-supported, listener-supported show, and we appreciate you all for supporting us and keeping us going. That's how we want to do things. We don't want no corporate overlords trying to tell us what to do. The Ringside Report Network is owned by you, the people, and we appreciate you, all right? Follow Big Johnny at North Genesis on Twitter, Genesis Johnny North on Instagram. Follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. I post some cool things on Instagram this week. You see the cool wrestling toys I posted? Yo, getting so many cool wrestling toys, Johnny. I got a King Corbin.
Look at Drew McIntyre. I'm like, wow, okay, you've really turned a corner here.
Well, my son wanted Drew. He wanted Drew. He wanted Sheamus. He sees Drew on Raw all the time. He wants a Drew McIntyre for his guys. You should see his collection. It's ridiculous. Name a wrestler. He's got him. Past or present. He's
Goldberg.
got him. No, that's the one he doesn't have because we don't have Goldbergs in his house. Name another one.
Randy?
Of course he's got a Randy.
Thank goodness.
He's got a Sting. His Sting is from 1990. Wow. He's got blonde hair.
Man called Sting.
Yeah, it's Flat Top Sting. WCW Sting, baby. It's my Sting from 1990. All right? He's got everybody. He's got Kenny. He's got the Bucks. He's got Cody. He's got Jericho. He's got everybody. Sasha Banks. Bianca Belair. Bayley. Becky. Charlotte. Shayna. Natty. Owen. Brett. Shawn. Trips. X-Pac. Shane. Vince. Good old JR. Everybody. He's got everybody.
What about the recent... I think AEW just came out with a new pack, I think, like Series 3 pack or something.
Which one's that?
I think it has Pac in it.
No, I didn't get the Pac. I did order some AEW figures that will be coming next month. I've got, what did I order? Riho. Gotta have a Riho.
Okay, wow.
Ray Phoenix. Pentagon. Orange Cassidy. Darby Allin. And, Hangman. We're getting a Hangman, which is very exciting. We're very excited to get the Hangman. I still got the Jericho in the package. I haven't taken out, because he doesn't like doubles. He's got a Chris Jericho WWE version, and that's all he wants. He doesn't want a new version of Chris Jericho because he only wants one Chris Jericho. So I have an AEW Chris Jericho just kind of sitting there in the package. I don't know. I might put him on a shelf somewhere at some point. Who knows? All right.
Yeah, it's fine with me. Like I love the amiibos you used to have. You still have them, but we just don't
I still
see
have them. That's right. That's right, Johnny. All right. That's it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you. RingsideReport.net is our website. Go there. Watch us. Follow us. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on Twitch. Subscribe to us on Facebook. Like this video. Leave a comment. And when you subscribe to us on YouTube, do not forget to click the bell so you get notifications every time that we're on. Right? Every time we're on, you get notifications when you click the bell. It's easy. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy.
Thank you and good night.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Ringside Report started on the radio, added podcasts, and moved to video in 2019. Our hosts are not just fans, but have in-depth knowledge of the subjects. Become a member of our YouTube channel now and become a recurring supporter of our work as we strive to continue to entertain you in these strange times. Pro wrestler Johnny Genesis North joins lifelong wrestling fan and aficionado Dave Simon to host our pro wrestling programming with in-depth coverage of the WWE, AEW, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Our flagship show, Wrestling Uncensored, is live every Friday right after WWE SmackDown. Here, you get a review of the week that was. You may not agree with our host. In fact, they often don't agree with each other. But you have an opportunity to chime in with your viewpoint in the chat rooms while live or in the comments section of YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook on the replay. Dave and Johnny also headline our coverage of major pro wrestling pay-per-views and breaking news. Dave Simon is joined by experienced jiu-jitsu fighters Fred Garcia and the ever-unpredictable AJ DeLesio, each Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern with Ringside Report MMA. They try and foresee what's next in the octagon and review, argue, and kibitz in a very friendly, irreverent manner. The three guys also team up to accompany you on all the major UFC pay-per-views with entertaining watch-alongs. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.